that the best practices in business, they say go to the sun, go to the source. This entity decided to go through Goro Boys, and the report is telling you that out of that we lost 251 million Ghana cedis. But you don't face prosecution because of some of these things.
They are thieves. We need to punish them.
That's where the issue is.
Yes.
So if you have to establish,
if you are not stealing, where will the money go? Where will the irregularities come from?
Yemo bibia kwaba emfa Mega TV and platform we eso Dr. Zato senior political lecturer at University of Ghana. Oni movement for change yera Solomon Owusu. In fact, omo clash on TV3 Alfred Okanse the show no eso the key points na neina hawa Ghana enema enkoye efano sa ECG and nyema yira ho any in fact Ghana ammunitions bia omse ayira enemu nsensem no abusia mepesi benya adaje ni akoni akoti ensem no key points ane egum hawa isi ekoba na meso so document betum na wa like na wa share na wa subscribe to the channel for latest update hano area number 1 authentic platform yenko 19 se ni bia koba beto so
in our lives.
I mean, Alfred, this is the only time I agree with a phrase that was used in the past by President Akufo-Addo when he said "Yetiskaso." Indeed, Yetiskaso, and ECG is indeed a crime scene.
How do you say ECG is a crime scene?
But you just read to us. 86% of what? All the infractions is coming from the ECG.
No, not just the ECG. Just Gridco and others, but a chunk of it from the ECG.
ECG, yes. Now, if you just oppose this Auditor General's report to what was done by the PricewaterhouseCoopers also last year. In last year's report by PricewaterhouseCoopers, they were telling us that ECG was collecting 15 billion. They were only declaring 10 billion to us and making available 6.5 billion to the cash waterfall mechanism. Now, the reason why people will continue to do these things with impunity is that people in authority are benefiting from it. They are all part of the cabal. It's a cash cow. They go there, they enjoy it, and you will see that nobody will be prosecuted. Does it not surprise you, Alfred, that we have the National Signals Bureau guy in court over what? $7 million. But there is nobody at ECG, be it the former managing directors or the board members or any staff there facing any prosecution. Not even a single arrest.
But you go to court with evidence beyond reasonable
doubt. But this is enough evidence. You do.
That's what the Attorney General said. Now, prosecution is not a walk in the park. I mean,
ECG, when you go there today, you have enough evidence to nail people. We cannot just be sitting down and always, the one city that we are made to pay, is it not for the inefficiency of ECG? Because if you look at the supply chain, VRA is producing, Gridco is transmitting, ECG is distributing. Then the money is supposed to come from the ECG to pay the other players in the chain. Once they fail, then it affects everybody. Then the PRC, together with the government, comes back to us and say, let us go and pay for the ECG's inefficiency because we are not prosecuted. We are in this country that the former board chair came to tell us that indeed, he knew when he was a board chair that people were actually doing connection. It's a common phenomenon. So it's common. Was he taking part? That's why he did not report it. These are matters, but now there should have been a committee of inquiry going after him to come and substantiate or expand further on the statement that he made, that he knew people. If you know people who are into connection or crime, you must report them.
You mean Apenyomakin?
Apenyomakin I'm talking about. But he made this statement and went away. And he's still your minority leader preaching towards the gospel of saintism. When indeed you have supervised one of the worst ECG tenures.
Well, he said he was in his office as board chair for just some 6 months.
6 months, let's go into detail how much was misappropriated and misapplied during that period. It will blow your mind. You don't need more months at ECG to enrich yourself. In any case, he has to be hauled before any committee of inquiry. Why did the former managing director, Muhammad Dubik, left and told us that he was leaving on a personal reason, a position that he lobbied seriously for? No, we are not kids in this country. What about the former board chair, Kajipo? What was the reason why he left? Is it the reason why we are seeing some of these figures? We have to go into it. Because an institution that knows that the best practices in business, they say go to the sun, go to the source. This entity decided to go through Goro Boys. And the report is telling you that out of that, we lost 251 million Ghana cedis. We went through intermediaries, and so we lost. Don't forget that this was not just a mistake in business, but people actually benefited from the 251 million cedis.
I hope you're not saying that Afenimaki used ECG to enrich himself, because there's no evidence to that effect.
No, what I'm saying is that we have to investigate. Once monies are missing there, anybody who was in the helm of affairs is culpable. That we have to go into it. Without doing proper investigation, we will not know. But we cannot allow this thing to go unattended to. A company that at a point had about 88 different accounts. What were they doing with it? If it is not for chop. The top is chopping, so it is trickling down. The down are chopping. When you go to ECG, all of them will tell you that any procurement or contract that they award is inflated by a factor of 150%. It's a common business practice there. That when you are buying water in town at 1 cedi, at ECG they will buy it at 1 cedi 50 pesos. Because it's a sales asset that they must milk. Look, somewhere in the report, how can they pay 75 million Ghana cedis to hotel without a contract? Who does that? Who does that? Now you go to Most, because of chop. They also, instead of going through the electronic procurement system, they said no, they push this somewhere. Why must somebody not face prosecution because of some of these things? We are not going anywhere. We are not getting anywhere. And this is the kind of administration that Zato wants to present to us as a sanctimonious administration. So if I tell you that you must forget about that administration, you have to agree with me. Because nothing seems to be working with this. Now you asked a very important question that year in and year out, we are told that some amount, portions of the amount are recoverable. How much are they able to recover from some of these irregularities? We need that data to assure ourselves. Either than that, this 18.41 billion, out of which about 15 billion is attributable to the energy sector, can solve our problems. And it's not the best of situations. It's a sad day, and it's a sad time to be a Ghanaian because of what we are seeing.
Well, and Dr. Ismail Norman, yes. because also Professor, you made your point briefly on this matter.
Okay.
It's about recoveries and retrieval, surcharge, so as to serve as a deterrent, so that year on year we don't come and sit here and still talking about Auditor General's report capturing millions from the public sector. This is your money, essentially.
Yes. I agree with Mr. Owusu and his enthusiasm for this topic. I am actually dumbfounded oftentimes by the fact that there are so huge quantum amounts of financial irregularities. The people that run this country, that are decision makers when it comes to budgeting and expenditures, are people within the age group of 40 and 60. A significant amount of this cohort of people are thieves.
Oh, how
they are criminals. Oh. Because how would all this money? No, my brother. It's not the youth that are stealing. It's the adults that are stealing. They are thieves. You shouldn't be afraid to say it. Because where did the financial irregularities come from? Where did it come from? Is the youth that went to steal the money? Is the adults that are running the institutions that are stealing? They are thieves. We need to punish them.
That's where the issue is.
Yes.
So if you have to establish
if you are not stealing, where would the money go? Where would the irregularities come from? Now I'm raising my voice because I'm very angry.
I'm the one who usually does that.
Yeah, I could do that better than you.
Don't copy me.
I'm not copying you. Yes. I was once a soldier. I know how to scream.
Like giving some space. Indeed.
I know how to scream.
But you can understand the frustration.
Yes.
And the sentiments of people.
That is why there's so much crime. Crime is taking uptick because the youth are seeing we, the adults, we, the decision makers, stealing. That is why the Auditor General can come out amounts of money due to financial irregularities. Who is causing the irregularities? I think Oral needs to be a bit more active. I think we need to have more tribunals to try many of these people because they are thieves. I will never apologize for that statement, ever, until the adults in this country stop stealing.
I'm with you.
Thank you, sir.
That's a quick one on this, briefly. And then,
Thank you very much. And I must say with all honesty, Solomon, I agree with you on this. Perfectly. I agree. Soldier, I also agree with you perfectly on this.
Okay.
Because the name of the game should be deterrence. That is why I'm scandalized by this knowledge prosecutor on Kwabena Dufo. That is why this scandalizes me. You launch oral operation, retrieve all loot. All. The operational word is all loot. Every single loot should be retrieved. And then you go back and you say, yes. I'm talking about deterrence. We will have to deter people from doing this. One of the things that we don't see much in the Auditor General reports is that a lot of people are not prosecuted. What is with this? That people are not punished. And that's what I'm saying, that when you read something like this, a knowledge prosecutor to somebody who we are told has allegedly embezzled so much money, then you go and do a sweetheart deal with him and say, give us 60%, keep 40%. How would that deter an ECG managing director from doing the things we are talking about? How would that deter a managing director of any state company from doing that?
so what should be done?
Exactly. What should be done is that we should not weaponize the knowledge prosecutor to only punish political opponents and reward our friends. We should let the court take its natural distance. If you are sitting as an ECG boss and you now realize that, oh, a former boss of ECG has just been sentenced for this, will you do it again? If you were sentenced, so my point is that we shouldn't do the fact that we are using this knowledge prosecutor thing as a political tool to draw people is what is contributing to this. Okay. The impunity in the country is too much. Oral was supposed to be operating retrieve all loot, but by this you are not looking like operation conceal or conceive all loot, and it's not nice.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and make sure that people are punished. If you waste the public sector money, punish you, jail them, prosecute them, but don't issue a knowledge prosecutor to some people you like, and then the others you say we should prosecute them. That ain't fair.
All right. This week, the for Bobkin, yes, we have to move on to the next issue because you have stated your position on this. This week, the Defense Minister, Dr. Edward Omane-Boamah, addressed the government accountability series, and in that particular address, he did detail how thousands of military-grade ammunitions have gone missing, in fact, cannot be accounted for. And this transfer from the military to the national security was done before the 2024 elections. And as we speak, there's been investigation that has been instituted to locate exactly where these thousands of military-grade ammunitions are. Apart from that, on Wednesday, he went on a working visit or a tour to the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center. He also addressed the press that there's been some suspicion, in fact, there's been established theft at the military. And I'll start off with you, Dr. Ishmael Norman, because you are the Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College. And this is what the Defense Minister, Dr. Edward Omane-Boamah, said. Take a look at this.
The 2024 transfer of ammunition from the Ghana Armed Forces to the then National Security without due consultation and authorization, which the present National Security Coordinator is seeing to that investigation. Just when I thought that was being addressed, we have uncovered another one. And in that case, theft of ammunition. And that was even before the 2024 transfer of ammunition from the Ghana Armed Forces to the National Security. The ammunition found in the hands of civilians may not just have come from the ingenuity of those civilians securing them, but may have come from complicity of people who are tasked with responsibility. And so the investigations are ongoing, but the general public must know that these thefts have taken place and we are chasing them. We shall chase the perpetrators to whichever hole in which they will be hiding, because the peace and stability of Mother Ghana is far more important than any other individual's interest.
Defense Minister Dr. Edward Omane-Boamah there. Dr. Ismail Oman, how can this happen? I mean, we're talking about the military with standards and protocol, and then you have military-grade ammunition getting missing, untraced, transferred without due process and without following protocol in the military. That's surprising to me, to say the least.
Alfred, Minister is correct in bringing this matter to the public's attention, and I support that process. I also believe that probably there was some documentation about the transfer, but in Ghana, we don't keep a lot of documentations properly. So I'm not making an excuse, but it could happen that leading up to the election, people were quite busy moving things around in order to prepare for worst case scenario, so that transferring the ammunition, which is a very regular activity between various security agencies, that is not wrong, but not keeping documentation of the inventory is where the issue is. I believe that this should not be investigated by Ghana police. The military has the military police. They are very, very good. For example, Major Mohammed's death was investigated by Ghana military. Without them, we wouldn't have discovered the perpetrators. So let the military investigate itself. The naval intelligence, the army intelligence is also very, very good. They should be able to tell us what happened to those ammunition, because some of them are even armor-piercing bullets. And I'm quite surprised that all of this got lost. Even if they were preparing for election, why do you have to issue armor-piercing bullets to, for example, Ghana police? What kind of disruption were you looking to see to intervene? So it is correct for the minister to bring the issue out. What was transferred is one issue. We need to compartmentalize it. What is missing is stolen. If it's stolen, because Honorable Amankwa Menu said, we shouldn't worry about what was transferred.
Yeah.
He was a deputy minister under Honorable Nitiwol. So they should know, these people should be questioned. The former CDS should also be questioned, and they should be able to tell us what was transferred. But what is missing is a criminal offense. For that, a proper report has to be made to any of the agencies that is built to investigate what is missing. So there are two items that we have to follow. We cannot fuse the two of them together.
Right. So what is transferred, you said it's a normal occurrence.
Yes.
It happens. The military will transfer ammunition to various security agencies as and when needed.
Exactly.
But it must follow protocol.
Exactly.
And the lay down procedure. The minister says this transfer, there's no documentation. It's irregular. It didn't follow protocol. That's where the issue is with the first instance.
I believe that there cannot be a transfer to national security. Let's give some respect to Honorable Nitiwol and Honorable Amankwa Menu. There cannot be a transfer between two government agencies without some documentation. Somebody has to sign to receive it. There has to be a list of the items being transferred. Maybe the paper wasn't filed in the right place. And so since none of those people, the key players, none of them is dead, each one of them is in the country, let's go to them. Honorable Nitu, what do you remember about the transfer? Do you have any documentation? Honorable Amankwa Menu, do you? Honorable Kandapa, do you have any? And what about the CDS? Upon paper, do you have any information under your watch? This amount of ammunitions were transferred. Where did it go? I believe that all the key players are available to be questioned, and I believe that they will be willing. If you use the police, if you use any other agency, the army, because of esprit de corps, may not want to talk. Albert. So use their own military police, their own intelligence arm to do it. Because if I was a soldier and a policeman come to question me, I won't talk.
Really?
Yes, it is a practice. Esprit de corps, you protect each other.
But would it be prudent in this instance for the
I'll take
military,
the fifth.
from the military to investigate itself in an instance like this when they are the ones who are being cited to have not followed due process?
Or the military police is very, very good. They are very, very good. The intelligence division, they don't make any allowances for anyone.
But you see, I've spoken to you so many times, and this relationship we have goes way back. Why are you against the police investigating itself, but then you are for the military investigating itself?
Because of theft control.
What do you mean?
Theft control. I mean, soldiers don't like other people coming into the very inner circles of their activities. But they will allow their own people, they will be very willing to tell the story. But the moment you bring some other external force there, they begin to close up. And they won't tell you, they won't give you all the information.
And I respect, because you teach them, you work with them. You are a former military. You are a former no. You are a former military, personnel. So in understanding the psyche and the psychological, as it were, framework of the military, you're the best person to speak to this, and I respect that position. I was just asking as to how, if we're investigating an act.
I'll teach you the one-day bestseller method, a new approach to create structure and sell your book in just 24 hours. This isn't just another course on writing. It's your AI-powered publishing revolution. Click the link below to the one-day bestseller method and let's get your book to the world.
That has been described as irregular by an institution. You say that from what you do know about the structure of the military, they can still investigate themselves. A different arm of the military can investigate what has happened, and we will still get some accountability and the whole picture of what happened.
The police investigates itself all the time.
Even though you are against it.
I'm not against it. The police investigates itself. There is a huge sector of the Ghana Army, Armed Forces, that are lawyers. So the judge advocate can also help with the investigation. Mm-hmm. And I believe that they will not protect anyone, because a lot of investigations go on within the Ghana. It's a microcosm of our Ghanaian society. Mm-hmm. So everything that we have in the civilian world, they have it. So let them do the work. And if they don't do a good job, then you bring in external forces to do the investigation. Out of respect for the entire army. Yes, let us not demonize the Ghana army.
Well, I mean, you know clearly that this is not my area.
Indeed.
I don't know how ammunitions look like. They were showing pictures. And the rest of them. So please, I'm just thinking that maybe we should be careful about exaggeration. Mm-hmm. Perhaps some of these things, the baseline investigation and all of that probably should close our ranks, because the point is that my considered view is that there are certain areas that should not be in the public domain so much and all of that. But I want to believe that the defense minister has got reason for bringing this to the public attention and all of that. So
yeah, but Dr. Esbenoman, you said you're commending the defense minister for making this public, because there are sometimes these things that happen. There are those who are of the view. In fact, the former deputy defense minister said he didn't understand why the defense minister is saying this in public. But then you said it was worth letting us know about what is going on.
It is important for the minister to let us know, every other ministry, whatever is going on, because one of the biggest ethical value of Ghana, probity, accountability, transparency, is in our constitution. Every appointed person must follow this ethical value, and the minister has done well in compliance with that ethical standard in our constitution.
And not cloud this as national security, and so it shouldn't have been put in the public domain?
It's not everything that the public needs to know. Not everything. But I believe that the subcommittee on interior and defense, some of them should also be questioned.
Right.
How the transfer happened under their watch, because they were part of it. So for me, it is okay to tell us that quantum number of bullets are missing, but the details of that, once the investigation is done, then you can tell us who stole what was stolen and who received the transfer that was made to national security. The transfer wasn't made to an unknown entity. The transfer was made to another responsible government agency. So I don't believe that Honorable Kandapa and his team would deny that they never received that. And if they receive it, where is it? If they can't find it, then we should go after him.
So, this is a matter that borders on the security of the country, essentially, because if there are two situations: the irregular transfer and the theft of military ammunition that the minister pointed out. Where is it?
Thank you.
The proliferation of small arms we are seeing and how it's influencing conflict, that's where the concern is.
Thank you very much. This is an important question, and as I said, because it's national security, we must treat it with all the necessary depth and deterrence that we do. But I think that on this particular issue, on this particular issue, the Minister of Defense was being unnecessarily dramatic.
Which one?
And by
exactly?
doing on the issue of the ammunition transfer, the Minister of Defense was being unnecessarily dramatic, and he has created unnecessary fear and panic that he didn't need to do. Thank you. Let's look at this. The word used is that ammunition was transferred from one government agency, Minister of Defense, to national security. It wasn't stolen. It's not as if we woke up like, oh, where the ammunition is not there. No, it was transferred. It means that they went to where they put the money. Somebody had to sign to transfer it. That's a record. And we said that these transfers are done all the time. We've told that it is not the first time. So one, nobody is saying it's illegal. Two, nobody says it's unethical because, again, the moment you are saying transferred, it means that somebody went inside, they legally opened the vaults or whatever it is, took it, put it illegally in the proper vehicle, because you don't put this in behind trotro or taxi, put it in the proper vehicle, drove them to where national security went there. That is what happened. Two, when you went to national security, somebody at national security signed for them. I don't think a soldier will drive ammunition to national security and just go in back and put them there and go away. No, somebody at national security signed for them. And the soldier would have returned with his copy. That's what I want to believe. You went there, somebody signed to collect it. You gave the person their copy, you went back. Those are records. When you do this, that's the bureaucratic red tape. It means somebody had to have given that soldier an order to go to the ammunition depot. And so all these things look like they all follow laws. You can trace who signed up. Because if we're told that they were stolen, I'll be panicking. Yeah. But we said it was transferred. That's the way. That means that the protocols for transfer were followed. Now, good.
Yeah. There are two different things.
So I'm talking about the transfer one now. I'm talking about now.
When transfer, he says, yes, irregular.
Yes, irregular.
Because it didn't follow the due protocol.
Thank you. So somebody, so I'm saying now. Secondly, the things went to national security. So we are told they went to national security. That's what again we are told that national security took them. Have you asked national security what they did? Say, hey, national security, before the elections, you took this amount of ammunition. Where is it? What did you do with it? You didn't talk to national security, but you now come to that. No. But
the national security is actually
investigating. Yes, but the national security confirmed that they are missing. That's the point I'm asking.
They are investigating. Means it cannot be traced.
But what I'm saying is that every national security in the world engages in two things at most: covert and overt operations. Covert and overt operations. In order to keep the country safe and secure, you must sometimes do covert operations or sometimes overt operations. What if these were used for what? A covert operation. What if these were used for the national security different from what the military was doing? So my point is that so long as you are saying that things were transferred to another government agency, you don't come out and tell us that, oh, they're missing, oh, they cannot be accounted for. They took them for a reason. I don't think national security say, give us ammunition, we want to, like Professor Kui, we've never seen it, let's see how they look like. No, I don't think that's what they said. I'm sure they had a reason. I don't think national security say, hey, you know what? We just want to keep ammunition here for keeping sake. No. They engage in overt and covert operations. So it is possible that, yes, they took them, but then they used them to do what they said they wanted for. And secondly, the reason why probably they have not told the Ministry of Defense is because the Ministry of Defense is not on a need-to-know basis. Yeah. Again, we also, thank you, I'm happy you agree with me so that I'm not just, sometimes in intelligence and all these things, if you don't need to know, you would not know. So probably the reason why they haven't told the minister is that, well, because he doesn't need to know. Imagine, I'm just saying hypothetical. Imagine they took these ammunitions and decided to, put on my head, give it to a foreign country, another country. I'm saying hypothetical. I'm just saying it. They don't need to come and tell us that, hey, by the way, we took these ammunitions and we gave it to a friendly country because they were improved. They don't have to do that.
Okay.
So politically, the point I'm saying is that they took them, they were transferred, they were not stolen. At least what I heard, they were sent to another government agency. Today, that agency exists. The National Security Coordinator, he's a brother. He's what we call Nambia. He's a sister element from Togo. And I don't okay, so you so ask him.
What did you say?
No. Oh, I'm just greeting and saying regards to him and his wife and children. I want him to know me. So
there's a point you made.
He will call me and give me some small.
Thank you. There's a point you made that I want Dr. Ismail Norman to go. Can it be the case that military-grade ammunition is moved from the Ghana Armed Forces or transferred from the Ghana Armed Forces to other security agencies for whatever operation, or by a previous regime, and there's a new regime with a new defense minister, and he wouldn't, or he doesn't need to know, or he wouldn't have been briefed, or he shouldn't have been told what happened, so that at least there is enough briefing on exactly what the transfer was for, why it was transferred, who transferred it, and whether the transfer went through the right protocols. This need to know basis. Can this tick the box in this instance?
Maybe the previous finance minister, defense minister knew, not the current.
At the time that the transfer was made, Honorable Dr. Omane Boama was not the defense minister, and therefore he didn't have the right to know. It should have been in the handing over notes.
Yes.
If it didn't appear in the handing over notes, then he will definitely have the right to question the whereabouts. So what he's doing is consistent with good management, transparent management. I don't have a problem with that.
So the defense minister hasn't done anything?
No, he has a right to know. Because you see, there may be a correlation between the missing ammunition and the uptick of crime. The CEO of Small Arms Commission has come out with some data that is very scary if you're paying attention. Dr. Adam Bona has reported an increase of about 50-something% in violent crimes against people. Recently, a member of the Council of State was coming from the north, and he was attacked and robbed. Was it last week or so? I mean, the arrogance and the audacity of the young men attacking people, you realize they are not afraid of anything because they have the weapons. And when the police responded to this call to help the member of Council of State, they started shooting at the police. And some of the policemen ran away to save their lives, which is perfectly okay. So
who wants to die today? Nobody. Indeed. So, so let's bring it. And when I spoke to Ernest Bojaji, who's the Deputy Defense Minister, I'm going to play back that interview. He indicated that this transfer was done just few weeks to election day, December 7. You know about it?
Yes.
What does this tell you?
For me, I have always preached that the security agencies in general elections should prepare for the worst case scenario. So that in case things get out of hand, they will be able to intervene and to mitigate. So maybe this was part of the preparation towards election-related violence or post-election related violence. So for me, I think the motivation behind the transfer, you need to talk to the people who requested for the ammunitions and the people who made the transfer.
On the contrary, I believe that it was to rig the elections. You see, if you listen to the minister carefully, he said there has been theft beyond the transfer. There has actually been theft of ammunitions. You understand? Now, the national security is not a standing army. It's not a standing force. So why would you transfer ammunitions from a standing force, which is the army, to the national security to go and do what? Close to elections? These are normal, we are not kids. They were going to use it to rig elections. If you were listening carefully to the sort of campaign messages in the days leading to the elections, from leading figures in the ruling party, What were they preaching of? That if you dared, we will show you pepper. In fact, the one that was leading the operation, Osman Buga, the one who has been booting TV3's microphone in the heat of the moment. You remember?
No, you make your point. You make your point. You don't make those.
Has he not been booting your?
Everybody give you space. Okay, now go ahead.
Make your point. Make your point.
So in the immediately after the elections, he came out to say that NPP supporters were being harassed and that he was calling on all his troops around the country to begin to come with their arms. That statement, I thought, was going to be invited because we don't have any standing army in this country under the constitution, other than the Ghana Armed Forces. So for him to have issued that statement that all his men must begin to rise up with their guns, it tells you where these ammunitions could be found.
So we should be looking there.
Part of the joint force for election security?
No man, if a government in power can do anything possible. I have been into various election situations before, and if we show you the sort of arms that are held by private individuals, you marvel.
Oh, I won't.
Yeah, you would. Now, so you agree with me now. Now we are in a country where you just mentioned about Aswansi. Go and see the sort of ammunition that people are using to kill innocent human beings. A lot of people have these ammunition in their homes, and so when they are talking, they talk chest out because they know what they are sitting on. That's why I believe that it's very easy to identify those that are behind it. We know where the ammunitions were, those that were responsible for keeping it in the same place, who signed it off, and who received it. So if you are not finding it, we must bring them to book. This is where prosecution must start. So beyond the minister announcing to us, he must do the needful. He says there is an ongoing investigation. The investigation must close in on those that allowed it to leave their premises so that we prosecute them as a country rather than sitting down for them to use it. Now we have elections ahead of us. You may see some in Akwetia.
Yes, so that is it. Intuiti in Sama. Yeah, Madikaka. Alan Kwajuchamantini, Nipani dear. Alan Nankasacrano. Who deserve an appointment from Yura John Germany Mahama. Na baimo. Ba no kwase me wom ni say. Ala no a whole flag bearer. Ayini nasem. Abronye nasem a whole flag bearer. A whole flag bearer. Na okwaji appointment. Ewo different political party. And I say abaimo a. On se basa na chita for ebeye disappointed in him kakra. Yes, Nekita phone be disappointed in him kakra. But no kwase me wom ni se enka biti se Yewura Solomon Owusu Alan opanyi we kwa ni din disen Hopsin Yawuvi Adoye Yewura owura we Ohininto, yes, Ohininto. Sankofo na omo kasa 2024 pa. Sankofo na omo make a lot of commentary. In fact, omo kasa ma ayala nkwajuchira mantin. In one way the other, omo expose MPP no. Enka sankofo mu nya appointment biti say ya abo abia samwano. Enka after all the I was say NDC by Yura John Mahama. I was saying Yura John Mahama yeding and after all Timmy Enya ye bako na offering na oman appointment because ebasana ebema a chita for no more even a winning a lot of shoes. What I say bit me winning a lot of shoes. What I say Ediama NDC amanyuku nebema NDC so aye krabehwe but say no quarry se Ghana Armed Forces ammunition bi wo honom na ayira dia onze na nsi Ghana momayenka no quarry onze na nsi Ghana violence na doso kakra omo so motutu eni ya kra news me hweye me senior colleague Gossip 24 Clement, ma we say neso wo postis omo shutu obi. Shutu no e koso wo Ghana. Ghana adena sisi ye kosa mahama yewura John oni NDC muntu munensi ho oni interior minister papa ni din disen is it boa ma wa hum no me kai din then ona na oye we the director of IT and now your high corp or papa immediately na me checking the first na me fa ma interior minister interior minister I think say Muntaka but mame I was saying many no corridor mutu munensi hono because said this is Ghana adechi bia yabo wetu adechi bia and robbers akoji we adechi bia ohini bi yakunu ye misa e ho se okay interior minister ye yewra Mubarak Mohammed Tanku Muntaka mfancheni Asawasi member of parliament. Fortunately, on also no ye Asawasi member of parliament. Orewe, omo nto omo nensi ho. Omo ni yewra John Mahama. Eni ndi chaban nto omo nensi ho. Na sa akukokuku kakra ya bo wetu, kakra ya yewe, kakra ya yewe no. Abusia. Jinsemu wo Ghana. Jinsemu wo Ghana. Te say unam kura na usuro unam na sebi unam na wokita kaa anasa unam na kita sika kese bi hye ho na wohwehwe wachi even baby abekwa no mbedi nsawo so no unni trust bi wom se sebi enkofo ya makọ mu nchen yo betimi alenkemi ama nipa boni ni amommo bi hye ma bome you see NDC for mama enkoye se mo penso mo ba na sebi nipa kukuku anase nipa enkwa edesene mo yesrebo we make sure say things will be right this time around we make sure say things are right we make sure say we put two things together because sebi eburu sebi nyado yetutu no okabuchi hunu ade chinye kunwe ade chinye boy ade chinye we no we can't guarantee what will happen and I say what it and who it will happen to in the near future ebetime ya MPC ni mu bio na mo ye say MPC kware say omu kuko mo da 2019 or 2015 ameswele ono ye as two journalist so mu ku no papa we JB Dankwa ono so 2019 or 2017 ono so mo kukun woni fi so ana 2016 rather po I stand to be corrected no mama ye nyanhwe han muntu munensi hono na mo make sure say the perpetrators omo wo mu omo ye omo wo mu you na ye ehi wo Ghana anse ya chi obi a yehu se nipa wi simasi obentene na odi se awu no ye begoro no ho ye ne kokot ne ne ba ye ne kokot ne de ne ba sa na asem no aye foolish case tana asem na aye foolish case ene besia ebe den na dite enkofo ebe den na hye nkofo kutupa emo mo nso enya interest in killing omunya interest in what say also ombefa ombeji obi krefe ni nsem it is sad Sunyani yes Sunyani that is Bono region ukopie ho ma 2021 incident BCE a branch bi ato de boasi etwitwa sebi nipa edi share frigim se na wo ton se na wo rio se na wo yedenyo nyankopon adom ne last ni pokun no ana odi be shi frigim ene nam so akwada ketwa mochi no yemi sese sa asem na kosi sei ene wonti bio because obeti team no omo si mpanyinfo binom MPs binom aban mu mpanyinfo binom eba honom ebegye human pass. Yes, enti no asɛm no yaka sɛ o yɛnka sɛ wa sɛbi n'adwene mu ka ne kakra yɛnka sɛ n'adwene mu ka ne kakra na yɛndile asɛm no na asɛm no nya up to now 2021 to 2025 how many years? 4 years. Ghana nkwa na mbɛka kyerɛ sɛ agye sɛ ebe take 10 years ansa murder case anaasɛ obi ɛsɛ bi yɛkunu no yɛahwehwɛ ne nsɛm mu awie na yɛasɛntɛnse no. Enti no na saa 10 years no family members no ɛnni adagye anaasɛ ɔmo nsa ngye yɛ ɔmo mpaabaa. They would have left the case to let it go. What I say, the Ghana yemra na eto de bia enwanwa. Yefra abrante bi sexy dondom ekobo papa ya America na asemi ye JB Dankwadu ni fie ko won sikan kun ya yemisa se saa nkofo no saa sexy dondom na ne hefa no wo. Let's ask ourselves, saa sexy dondom na ne hefa na abrante no owo. Where is the state of, where is this guy called sexy dondom? Samsona Ahmed Suale 2016 or 2015 owura we se bi omo bon tuo e wo kwan ho broad daylight imisa se abrante no nkofo mu di se dwuma no na omo ti motorbike so e ma CCTV footage capture omo up to now yenya huamu. I'm telling you, eti den na ekoso wo Ghana. Eti anye se bi NDC for kwa penso na sa nemo ye ekoso NPP for penso ekoso but yam did okorama ye ho this July we in fact akoso bebre kwa omo sha ase omo se hima bi omo bonutuo se omo be kaya hini bi omo bonutuo na ina so ya sante region, and it pains me to 240 kokoso eye na pia ona asase so na sa nema ECC yemisa ye ho se edien na akofa aba could it be say yenkrofo ya omo wo sebi atifin dui na omo di sa nneema yi aba bepie ho ana what is it at all, and I say what is really going on? It was simple for two omo na nsi ho na omo ye hu bibi on tisadia. It is sad. It is really sad. It ba mefa kwanya wi so na yewura papa Daddy Lumba, the legendary Daddy Lumba yemma busafo nyina hyedin. In fact endra me reho pa me ti news me reho ye but ben de wu krade ankwante minje sana obade ebo niema ana so bade ebo ne niema wo wiase wi mu oye denya onkyerebo oye den se bi obi gem watase enti yemfa condolences yemfa mabusuafo ma wagye omo ani ahira wagye na kire na busuafo nyina ne na dofo nyina Daddy Lumba de ono oye national assets watase obi a wabɔ nyamenyom kyese wabɔ nwum bie bi wabɔ adedam wabɔ high life wabɔ kyese wabɔ nwum bie bi ewo wiase wi mu any journey of song biano and music biano opanyi we wetimi abobi ti o legend was a man state burial watase was a man state burial that's what promote pio a man state burial because opanyi no wayate opanyi no was selling Ghana name to the highest level, to the international level from the age about sabri 90s and now other sujina and nice one point and obitumi ayesa and then kofu yon mi obi ba o heti 1 year pa san besime body even kunru 1 year ebi 3 months 6 months na oko but papa we are turning name for decades ages. What I say, still now, the dean that so our bonum. Iti papa no, yemfa sebi, the was the man on state burial, yemfa man, yemfa shine the monyam, bibi antiman koso. I mean, for we see, be mega, subscribe for latest update, my crowd, bye bye.